Hey, Jerod. Hey, Jessica. Welcome to the His and Her Money Show.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
We are
Awesome.
doing well. We're super excited to have you guys on the show with us today because you guys have an incredible story of paying off a bunch of debt that we know is going to inspire everybody that is tuned into the show. But before we get into that, can you take a moment and just introduce yourself to everybody and let them know what you're all about?
Well, my name is Jerod. This is my wife Jessica. We are we just try to practice Christian principles. We're about just helping people out, encouraging others that are around us. I'm a recruiter, so I get to help people get jobs in my career. And my wife Jessica, go ahead.
I stay at home. We have 2 kids, a 4-year-old and a 18-month-old daughters. So that's fun.
Yeah. We stay busy with them. So yeah, so we're blessed, and we just love to encourage other people, help people out with what we've been through, and very inspiring. The Lord's blessed us with that. So
Love that. So tell our audience a little bit about what you guys have been through. I mean, you guys had a lot of debt. Tell us about how much debt it was and how much you guys paid off and what it was.
We had about $80,000 of debt, and it was student loans. We had 2 car payments. We had 2 cars that we paid off,
medical bills,
2 medical bills from our first daughter, and credit cards.
Zelles, Best Buy, you name it. Rooms to go. We had it. We had accumulated a lot of debt. Just we wanted it, we would get it. So.
Wow. Now, how long did it take for you guys to pay off this $80,000 worth of debt?
Exactly 2 years.
Wow, that's crazy. $40,000 of debt
year.
paid off a year on average. That is insane. Now let's back up a little bit here because you were naming things that are kind of typical as far as, furniture. I mean, I remember back in the day we had furniture that was financed. You talked about student loans. Everybody's got a student loan these days. You had all types of stuff going on, but something sparked a change in you two to where you at some point had some type of epiphany like, this isn't cool. Like, this debt is getting out of control and we need to do something about it. Talk to us about what caused the shift to make you say, we need to stop what we're doing and do something differently with our money.
Yeah, I would say that would be just having to grow up. We had a kid. Our firstborn was really whenever our mindset shifted. We had got serious about just our life really at that point. When we had our baby, that was when we really kind of refocused and reevaluated our life.
I think we got married and had a kid really close together, and so that's when we had to combine our finances, or we chose to, and
that's when the debt started accumulating as well. We got a house, we got the furniture, we wanted these things, and we wanted to provide all these things that swipe of a credit card was able to provide for us. But yeah, just having when we became pregnant, that was when we really started to reevaluate things. That was a trigger point for us.
He already knew who Dave Ramsey was, but we just didn't want to implement his teachings into our life at that time. But then one day I just started writing down all the numbers for the first time ever, our debt and everything, and that's when. And I didn't like having to go back to work. I hated that I couldn't stay home with our daughter. So that's what started all this, was just seeing the numbers and realizing we had to do something to change it.
Yeah, for sure. So talk about the mindset that you guys had to put yourself in order to say, you know what, we're married now. We have a brand new daughter. I would like to stay home. Talk about that mindset you guys had to put yourself in and to say, you know what, let's get out of debt.
Yeah, I would say that whenever she did that, when we wrote everything down, because we never done that before, we were just living life, going through the motions. I just got a job, we just got a new car, we were just getting what we wanted when we wanted it. And then when we finally stopped and realized we're about to have a kid, we need to plan our future, look at our life a little better. We wrote everything down and we saw that $80,000 and it scared us. I mean, we were like, wow, this is out of control. So I mean, at that point, we just kind of put our heads together and figured out a way to make it happen. The Dave Ramsey thing was a blessing to us. So,
I don't, I don't know what kind of mindset.
as far as put me in the mindset, though, that whenever we went through, when we wrote everything down, I just realized we have to dial in. We have to get in the zone. We were basically not looking at this problem on opposite sides of the table. We had came to the same side of the table looking at this. We put our heads together. We shared our vision, shared our values, and our marriage grew stronger. The first 3 months were pretty tough, but our mindset was just to let's attack this thing together, and we became our team. Our marriage grew strong because of it. But I always refer back to the movie Social Network, that Facebook movie, and he says you got to just dial in. You get in the zone. It's a small span, a small chunk of your life to get big rewards for it. So just stay focused. I mean, that was the mindset I had to have. I just remember we had such a visualization on our debt and our chart, and we looked at that every day, and it was just impounded in our heads every day. Hey, we got to knock this out, and we just stayed focused on it. The mindset we had was just to drill it, to get it done.
You guys absolutely stayed
Yeah.
focused. I mean, $80,000 in 2 years is
Amazing.
a powerful testimony of focus. Now, help everybody understand what you did, because they hear like, man, $40,000 a year for 2 years, and now they're debt free. They're curious. Like, what are some of the things, the strategies, the methods, the cutbacks, the whatever? What did you do in order to be able to get out of debt so quickly?
Well, first off, getting on a budget, that was something we'd never done. So that's, the number one tip, I think, for everybody to be on a budget and just the debt snowball. We did it. We did it like Dave teaches, in smallest to largest, paying off our debt smallest to largest, and that really helps because I think we had like 15 debts listed when we started, and so the first ones went really quickly. And like he teaches, that is motivation to just see them. The list gets shorter, and you just want it to motivation to see it go away.
Yeah. Strategies as far as that. I mean, we work together. We put our heads together. I think, instead of separating once again, we were able to come together and make resolutions for each other. And, strategy for me was just visualizing my future, was trying to figure out what I really wanted out of this and my why. And, our children, we have two now, of course, those were our why. Those were the reason why we wanted to clean this debt up. And, just had to remind myself of that every day, because it wasn't easy. Our first 3 months, those budget meetings, we're having discussions we've never had before. We're being stretched and pulled in ways we've never been in before. And it was tough, but it helped us grow. We were able to go to another level in our marriage, and just staying focused. The budget was a huge piece of that, because that basically what the budget did. I'm the free spirit. I'm the spender. She's the nerd. She's the one that's calculating things. So that budget meeting brought us together every week. Every week we had to come together, talk about life. It was just, not, in the budget too, but it brought in other conversations too. So that was a key point.
Now, you mentioned that those first few months were not easy, and that's typical when it's like you said, this was a new practice. You all had not budgeted before. And a lot of people, when they attempt to budget for the first time and it doesn't go as planned or something, it just doesn't work out, and they quit though. You know what I mean? They're like, this doesn't work. But you guys were able to persevere, even though you talked about the toughness of those first few months. So help the people that are listening that are in the midst of budgeting for the first time in this new season of their life, and they're frustrated, because this is brand new to them. How are you guys able to not give up and continue to say, what, we got to keep trying, we got to keep trying, we got to keep focusing, we got to keep going? Talk to everybody about how you made it through those first few months.
I think even still, our budget's never perfect, and like we blow it like every month. But I couldn't imagine not having that plan there and not knowing where my money went. The first 3 months.
There's something in place, but as far as getting frustrated, I mean
I'm a huge nerd, huge numbers person, so like I wasn't gonna give up. I mean I think.
Yeah, she helped. Yeah, she pulled me through it, but whenever I was able to kind of have it click in my mind, there was a chain reaction. We were working together, but as far as getting frustrated, yeah, there was things that knocked us back. We were working real good, and I worked a commission job, so I was enticed to want to work harder, just like with anything. But this was even more fed up about things and wanting to just work harder. And she took on another thing. She started doing her YouTube channel, and we started doing things with that. So money started coming in other ways because we started expanding our mind. We started growing and looking out in other ways that we could knock this debt out. So,
And that was going to be my next question. Did you guys do anything outside of your typical income, your salary? That's great news to know that you're on commission, so you were able to kind of make your own paycheck. But then, did you all pick up any side jobs?
I heard about this YouTube channel. Talk to us about that.
I mean, yeah, I started the YouTube channel. I don't think I started making money off that until the end of our debt-free journey, but that was definitely helpful as far as keeping us motivated. And
yeah, because we had taken a step backwards a couple of times, but that snowball effect is really true. You start getting a sense of accomplishment when you knock one off and you swipe one off and you get one off, and it just starts getting that rolling effect. But then, as far as being frustrated, we had some conversations that we butted heads about, but
side jobs, no, we didn't really do any extra side jobs.
No, I don't
think so.
Did you all sell anything?
Yeah, we did. We had a lot of garage sales.
Yeah, I had a lot of garage sales.
We cleaned out our houses, cleaned out our house. I mean, I even asked our parents and our family to, bring stuff over. The first time we did that, we made about $500, so, just selling things around there.
And I know one way that we were able to make, that was really helpful, we were able to make big payments was, like he said, he works on commission, so that wasn't something that we had budgeted for. So when he did get a bonus, that was a big payment that all went to debt. And then, like, I would get a yearly bonus at my job, and I remember in the past that was something I would always pay towards my credit card, and I would tell myself I wasn't going to use it. But then after we started our debt-free journey, this time we had cut up our credit card, so it did all go. It paid off our debts, and it didn't feel like a waste of money anymore. And then I think I had traded or sold like stocks because I had been at my job for so long, and so that was a big help. Our tax refunds, that all went to debt.
Yeah.
So
we just had a different mindset. It was just, there was something that clicked after that third or fourth month to where we were just firing on all cylinders, and that snowball effect really it's a true deal, and there's going to be frustrations, there's going to be drawbacks, but if you have that budget, you have that plan, you know where to get back on track. We all divert, we always get off track somewhere, we do, but if we know where we're going, we have that target in place, we know where we're aiming, we can get right back on track into it. And that's what we did. We did this, but hey, we made it there,
Did you all tell family and friends about your goals?
Yes, our family and friends, church, very supportive. We teach FPU at our church. Our third year will be this year, so we're proud of that. But our family, our friends, we had some criticism from our friends,
they still make fun of us.
They still make fun of us, because it's, we live a different lifestyle, but we're proud of it, We've helped others around us. Our family has implemented some of the principles we've embedded. So, but I think the funniest thing is seeing some of my friends that, are very free spirited, and, they've seen our change in our life, and just, they kind of want a little taste. They taste it, they kind of want it, but they're not ready to do that commitment. It's like, you're going to be there one day, man. It's just it's that trigger effect. You got to have that somewhere along your line. You'll be pushed over. But, that's what we're here for. That's why we want to motivate people. That's why we want to share our stories. So.
Love reading, but wish you had more time to get into your favorite books? What if you could use the time you already have and listen to the books you already love? Well, now you can with Audible. With Audible books, you can be inspired, entertained, and educated anywhere, anytime. Choose from the bestsellers in self-development, business, nonfiction, and more. So what are you waiting for? Your first 30 days are free. Visit hisandhermoney.com/audible to get started today. That's hisandhermoney.com/audible.
Now, over this 2-year journey that you went on, it couldn't have been all smooth. There had to be some bumps in the road. You talked about how you guys zigzagged and fell back a little bit. Talk to us about some of those obstacles that popped up during your journey and how you were able to overcome them and stay on track to your ultimate goal.
I think our biggest obstacle was and still is being so completely opposite with our spending habits. And I'm a huge tightwad and I don't like to spend money, and he's a big time free spirited spender. So it's just something we really had to work together on every day.
Yeah, at first it was really difficult, but there has been a mesh. I let her know, hey, you need to loosen up and enjoy this money, and she tells me, hey, you need to tighten up and let's save this money, and there's a give and take to our relationship. But yeah, as far as just sitting down, talking about how you spend your money, and with someone else you've never talked to them about, that's probably the hardest part, is when you sit down and you start making a budget for the first time with whoever it is you're doing it with, your spouse. Usually it's pretty tight, hard conversations, because they're diving into your personal finances, how you're spending your money. I'm a golfer. I spent, golf's expensive. There's equipment's expensive. When she found that out, she was, I had to cut back on that. There was some sacrificing, but I still enjoy it. And what that did for me it helped me enjoy things, the simple pleasures in life. I look forward to going to golfing, once a month or whenever I get a chance to go. There's more of a appreciation for it instead of just getting it when you want it. So.
Now let's talk about this, because this is a dynamic that really hinders a lot of couples as they're trying to get their finances in order, because you guys are very, very reminiscent of us in that one is the spender and one is the saver. And at different points, that has to be uncomfortable on both sides. And it sounds like, even when you guys were launching into your journey at the very beginning, it sounds like one of the important pieces to this puzzle was your willingness to communicate, to share your heart with one another. And also, you talked about how you all had this, you put all the numbers on paper, and that really sparked you guys forward when you saw, man, we owe $80,000. So talk about the importance of communication throughout this process, and even currently as you guys are still meshing your financial styles together.
I feel like I'm up. I'll say that the communication is key. I know that the biggest thing for us was really, we got married and we went through life was clicking, but I don't think we ever stopped and said, hey, this is what I want out of life. This is what I want in my career. This is what I want in retirement. This is what I want in 20 years. And when she shared that and I shared that, we both kind of shared our visions and our goals. And that was whenever we knew we had something to aim for.
I think what's important to me is, even though, like we talk about, he is a big spender, I'm still thankful that he is we're on the same page together, and he's willing and he understands, if it upsets me that he spends too much or something, we come together and have a budget meeting, and it's not like he does it on purpose, but he's understanding of if it's messing up our budget, and he tries to do better next month.
Yeah.
That's why we just have to have our budget meetings.
Yeah, the communication, it just, you have to have it with anything, business, relationship, anything to be successful. It has to be, not just going to the budget meeting and just, you have to be there, communicate and talk, and really, it's key to it. But I think sharing our visions and our goals, that was, even for me, that's what pumped me up. I was like, man, I'm that's what I want. That's what this is. I'm going to knock this debt out. I'm going to start setting back for retirement. I'm going to live on a golf course. We're going to buy a boat, whatever, travel the world. We visualize it so much, you can almost taste it, right? I mean, you put yourself right there in those shoes, it fires you up. So.
Love that. Now, in the beginning, you talked a little bit about how this has had a huge impact on your marriage. Can you talk about that a little bit? How has your marriage changed now that you all went through the process and that you are debt-free?
I think just like what we were talking about, just that we communicate better now, and we've grown together spiritually and
Yeah.
financially, personally, like just every way.
Yeah. I mean, this thing for us wasn't just about our finances. I mean, what the financial freedom did for us was allow our minds to be free as well. We were able to focus on other things, our family, our church, and our giving, and started doing things that we dreamed about, you know. And I'm a huge giver, but I'm a huge spender too, you know. So that's a hard balance to work out. But you know, this has helped me with that, and our marriage is definitely gone to another level that we probably would have never been on if it wasn't for this journey.
Awesome. Tell us about that moment where you went through this whole process, 2 years back and forth, the ups and downs, the twists and the turns. But that day came where you guys were able to make your very last debt payment. Paint the picture for us. Tell us about that day.
Christmas, you know, Christmas.
It was right before Christmas. And I vlogged that day. I got to work that morning, and
She cried.
oh, I was looking at our bank account because we got paid that day, so that's when we were going to make the payment. So I was looking at it, and I cried because I was just so excited and just couldn't wait to get home that night so we could all sit there together at the computer and make the payment. And
Yeah.
I think Jerod, I found out later that he had also cried that morning when he looked at our bank account.
I'm an emotional guy. Yeah, it was surreal though. Like we you know, we brought our daughter in here to have her click the button. You know, she was 2 years old, but she didn't really know what was going on. But we're just sitting there hugging right here in my office here. You know, but like we were talking about earlier, it never really hit us at that point. But I think when it hit me is I remember we at our church we were going to do FPU, and they played her video, and she had filmed herself the vlog of her crying. And she was up there crying, telling her story, and that's when I was like, "Wow, we really did it, man. We did this." I mean, I just had this emotional pour over me, and but man, that was just we'll remember that day for the rest of our lives. You know, it's so freeing. You know, it really was like you just have this is gone. You know, what's next in our life now? You know, we got a next chapter. We get to turn the page. So.
Yeah, we'll make sure that we will include a link to that vlog of you guys on that special day. So just check the show notes or the description box, and the link will be there.
That's right. Now, how does life feel now? You talked about, that moment, and you're like, man, now it's on to the next chapter, the next season. So talk to us about this next chapter. How does life feel now being debt free compared to that moment where you guys wrote your list and you saw, man, $80,000 of debt? You talked about how it scared you, and now you've paid it all off. Compare life then to life now.
I hate saying this, and it sounds bad, but I just feel like that journey was so exciting, and it's just such a big deal to pay that off, and now it's like, it's not as fun. Of course, I would never want to go back into debt, but
Right.
It's just a different feeling. But now we get to pay ourselves rather than give our money to other people. So that's really exciting, and watch our net worth go up, and know that if an emergency comes, we're okay, and everything's going to be okay. And
I think, and I can relate to what she's saying because it was an exciting time in our life. We knew that we were actually changing our family tree because our parents before us, they've never done what we've done with it, and we're just so proud of us and so supportive of it, and we just knew that like we were doing something amazing with our family tree, and when it got done, we were just like, so what's next, But there was now I've been shopping mutual funds, I'm looking at 401ks, I'm doing things that I never would have thought I'd be doing, saving for our children's college funds, and it's just awesome.